And we live.
What's up? You know what it is. Two
Two
caps, no
caps, no
cap,
cap.
and we back
Back at it again.
once again.
Once again.
How you doing today, my brother?
I am incredible. I am still breathing. I can't beat life, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Good.
great.
Good. That's what I
Taking
like
it
to
day by day, man.
hear.
Day by day.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So
Mhm.
today we're just gonna talk about like music and like its effects on how us as people, especially as artists, and what that does for us in the process of one making the music, listening to the music, and actually becoming one with that music. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
So can you
So
tell us? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, can you tell us a bit about your experience as an artist?
Yeah. So as an artist, when I started making music, I was really inspired by like Gambino and Tyler,
Hmm.
artists like them who were like weirdos, but they still made it cool.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was inspired by artists like them. And I think what touched me about them was that, they were just being themselves and, unapologetically. And people were like actually messing with them. So, you know, like that gave me hope, like I could be myself
Hmm.
and, hopefully get heard. And yeah, that's what I'm still trying to do right now as an artist.
Hmm.
Uh, try to get heard, try to get my message out there. And, you know, music to me is just like healing. I feel like it should be, you
Hmm.
know. That's why when I take a lot of time with my stuff because I wanted to be, this is like recent too. Like I started slowing down a lot. Like just to make sure that the music is like as quality as I want it to be and as meaningful and like when you hear it you feel it. That's what I want. That's what I want people to, take away from listening to my music now.
Hmm.
And also like get like a message, learn some knowledge, hopefully. But I'm still working on really integrating this even more now because like I kind of just not just focused in on it, but like I'm trying to pay more attention to that now
Hmm.
in my music. So yeah, like the song that I just dropped, "Love Again." That song
It's a
is
bop. It's a
thank
bop.
you.
Oh, yeah.
It's really about even looking at both sides of the equation, but remembering to also like fight for what you believe in and stand up against all the people who are trying to keep us down, you know,
Yeah,
pretty much.
I feel
So,
that. With me, it was I've got into music basic mainly for three reasons. The first reason is like a lot of the music that I was listening to wasn't really healing me. I felt
mhm,
like it was kind of hurting me. And I mean, I do have to preface it was probably the artist that I was listening to at the time because not all music is hurtful because obviously music is not supposed to hurt. Music is supposed to heal, you know. And at the time, I was just like, yo, and this is the second reason, what I want my children to listen to this. If I had children at the moment, I don't have children, but what I want my children to listen to this type of music. And, I said to myself, no, that's not it. So I said, I'm going to make music, one, so that I can relate to other individuals better. And that's the third reason, relatability. Because the way my mind works, I realize that I know this is going to sound a little crazy when I say this, but I don't speak English in my mind, right? English is not my first language. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was my first language that in a way that I was able to communicate with people.
mhm,
But I when I was young, I developed this my own sense of language, but outside of the human realm. So
Mhm.
what I learned is that I wasn't able to really relate to people on the level in which I was because I was vibrating at a frequency so high that I myself couldn't understand myself.
Mm.
So when I started, yeah, it was kind of crazy. But when I started to make music, I realized my mind can work in a rhythm instead of working in chaos.
Mm.
Because when I would speak to myself, not that I'm yelling at myself, but I would speak to myself in a way that was not in English, but I would understand. So when I made the music at first, I was just like, let me relate to these people, but in a way that would help them. Because I know music itself was supposed to help me. So with those three reasons, I went in thinking, all right, I from the jump, I want to make sure that I can affect as many people as possible. Right.
Mhm.
So like even from that first song that I made, and obviously, Irate specials on it. You got to check that out. We gonna have the link in the description.
In the moment.
Oh yeah, live in the moment. And live in the moment. Like the first song that I made, I spoke Russian in the song. You know what I mean? Because right off the back, I wanted to cross just what people see as music. Especially because since we live in America, we should be able to branch off and do any type of genre because we live in this country where we can do that. We're not even limited. We can just call ourselves at this point artists. It don't have to be like any style because it's art. It's literally a form of art. Like our words are literally like a paintbrush, and the canvas is the song that we're putting together. And as we paint with the different types of colors, there's no limitations on that. So I figured, why limit myself to the type of music that's hurting me when I can make music that can actually heal not just me, but hopefully the community around me. Because obviously I'm gonna put them on and be like, yo, you gotta listen to this track right here, you know what I mean? But and they like and when they like it, they realize that there's more music than what's out there.
Yeah,
So all of it plays a factor.
really,
Yeah.
truly.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely something that I'm trying to be more like conscious and present towards, like, the messages that I'm putting in my music. Because, like, of course, I like to have fun, and I'm still gonna make like those fun songs and
Oh
stuff like
yeah. Those are the ones that go on the radio.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we still talking about real shit. That's why I've been learning a lot, like
Hmm.
learning a lot about energy, inner work, healing, you know, business, cryptocurrency, to like put all of that in my music and hopefully teach people while they're fucking bumping some fire shit how to fucking, I don't know, invest in Bitcoin. I don't know,
Never know. Yeah.
like just really do something, make music that is healing and teaching, like on some different shit, like that's to change the world, like to really make that type of effect on it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know, I've been struggling with it lately because I've been trying to figure out like how exactly I want to do that. And you know, like I'm a part of like spirit mysteries and the luminaries, and like we have this rule in the luminaries, and we're just like, yeah, everything that goes on in this group, no matter what, we need radical authenticity, like be true, like your truest, most honest self. And I feel like I have to take that lesson that I'm learning there and bring it into my music as well, and that'll help me to tell the story even better. Cause like I'm just right now I'm feeling like people don't really understand what I'm saying, because like the way that I feel my mind works, it's just it's moves very quickly,
Hmm.
so it's very chaotic often.
Hmm. So yeah, you felt that
But
chaos.
yeah,
Yeah.
but on the other side of that, it's like always creating new shit, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
and like because it's always creating new shit, I don't always get the time to like ground all of that energy. And like because of the chaos too, like sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck? And I get overwhelmed.
Hmm.
You know, it be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But um it's just like so what I'm really trying to do now is, you know, take that observer stance and observe my thoughts, observe my feelings, emotions, all that stuff, and really use all that information to find a way to like clear my mind even more so that I can really be even more comfortable being my raw, authentic self. And when I put that into the music, people are gonna feel it even more, you know.
Hmm.
But like it's a process. I have to. I haven't really been even active on social media and stuff like that because I've really just been like trying to figure out like, you know, why do I feel this way about certain things? Why do I think this way about certain things? Or trying to change my beliefs and like recognizing patterns that are not healthy and that I want to switch. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work and then a lot of time and a lot of darkness.
Hmm.
But you know, it's I know that in the end it's gonna be worth it because what I'm gonna get from it is, you know, the power to really authentically express myself. And
Hmm.
then when I put that in the music, it doesn't even matter. People are gonna feel it regardless.
Hmm.
And I know because I'll feel it, you know. Like I feel the stuff that I'm putting out now, but I know that I could go even deeper.
Hmm.
So like that's what I'm really trying to do. Like get in tune with myself, understand myself on such a deep level that it comes out in the music. This understand myself and the world. You know?
Hmm.
So
Yeah. No, I understand that. What I did, because my thing is, I'm very big on finding out what other people have done because I realize there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that I want to do, someone has already done before, right? In some shape or form. It doesn't necessarily have to be my specific way.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but it has been done before in
Hmm.
some shape or form. So what I do is I try to look through as many history books as possible. Two things that I found were kind of beneficial for me. There's this book in the Bible. It's called Song of Psalms, where it's literally a whole book of songs. And it was somebody, I think his name was David or something. He literally wrote all these songs. Now, obviously, if you know say something from the Bible, it's you can use that because it's not copywritten. So like you can reuse that type of music because that's healing music anyway. But it was the same thing also with the Upanishads, right? So Western culture and Eastern culture. So I'm like I said, understanding history in general, but the Upanishads obviously is written in Hindu.
Yeah.
But when you translate it to English, the words themselves are very powerful
Can you
because
explain the Upanishads?
so the
People.
Upanishads is basically like a book of psalms, like songs itself. So, but it's more like chants almost.
Okay.
Yeah. So with the Upanishads, basic reasoning is to help the individual be or basically obtain joy, for
Mm.
lack of a better term, right? And the way that that works though is when you read these books. Obviously, what I would recommend is actually just learning, the actual language of the text because it sounds a lot better. It's the same thing with like when you read the Bible. Don't
Yeah.
read it in English, read it in Hebrew.
Mm.
Read it in its original language. Now, of course, that does take a lot more time to actually learn the language. But
Mhm.
when you do learn the language, you realize that's some powerful stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you read it in that text, and this is the thing, even if you don't know the actual language, your brain is gonna pick it up because your brain is there's nothing new under the sun for your brain either. Your mind can understand languages outside of the realm that you know language, but you have to be open to that. You know what I mean? And that was the thing with me. So I learned Arabic, I learned Hebrew, I learned uh, um, Hindu. I learned these different languages because I realized my brain can has the capacity to hold these things.
You
You know,
could read them or and
well,
speak
yeah, I
them,
can read them.
or
No, I can't speak them yet,
okay,
but I can read them.
nice.
So that's the thing though. We can all do that. This is not something that's like exclusive to me. This is anybody in the world can do that, but they just have to be open to doing that
Yeah,
because it's going to be hard at first because our minds are not used to it.
yeah.
But like I was saying before, like repetition is the mother of skill, you know.
Mhm,
And I think it was something that we learned before about the repetition creates the progress. You know,
mhm,
practice makes progress. So
mhm.
we progressively get to a point where we're just like, I don't have to limit myself to what is available. Like I'll give you an example. I had a job, and it's kind of crazy, but I got not that I got fired from this job, but I was working at an IHOP, and I'll bring it full circle in a second. But I was working at an IHOP, right, and they was paying me a certain amount of money, right, and they was paying me, I think it was like 12.50, right. It was one week when my ride told me, "Hey, I can't bring you back and forth anymore." So I let the manager know. I asked, "Is it possible for me to transfer?" But I already worked at the other place, so I worked at both. I had two jobs at the time. I asked her if I can transfer to a place that I already work because I wasn't working in the same position. And she said no. So what I did was I put my 2 weeks in. She got mad and she put me on the do not hire list. Right. The thing is, since I was already at that position and I put my 2 weeks in like a regular person, right? I didn't I was able to get the same job at this other location. And not only do I have the same job now, but the same pay that they were paying me at the other location is what they're training me at. So my training rate is the same rate that I was getting as a full time.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna also ultimately make more than that in the future. But what I'm
yeah,
trying to say is, I didn't have to limit myself to the amount of money that they were giving me. I didn't have to limit myself to the environment in which wasn't helpful or beneficial for me. When I left that environment, I realized that I could see things beyond just what the world was giving me.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So like all of that came into fruition, and then especially when it comes to music, and this is why like I feel music is very important to me, and
Mhm.
I don't I try my best to only listen to music that will actually benefit me, and that was one, like I said, that was one of the reasons why I made songs anyway, so I could listen to my own music. Like it was not it's nice for other people to listen to it, but I needed the music the most.
Mhm.
That's why I made it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I dead ass be going back to songs, be like, yo, I was really talking to myself on that shit.
Word, word.
Like, no, it really be like that. Cause even I was talking to one of my friends one time, who's an artist, Jay Wonder, and he was uh telling me that when he was writing his album, like he didn't even realize how deep some of it was until like, it released, and like after it released, and like just like listening to it all, and like thinking back on the experiences and reflecting on it.
Hmm.
And like I reflected on my stuff, and I was like, yeah, I definitely see that. Like even I was telling you about that song Stop that I made with
Hmm.
the intro part, and I was like, you know, when you going through a challenge, like it's just a test. And
Exactly.
I put that on there for me to remember that. like
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went back and I listened to the project and I listened to that again, I was like, yo, see, here it is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Me telling myself like you're going through some pain right now, but it's just a test. Like, how are
Exactly.
you gonna come out on the other side of this? You gonna
Exactly.
let it use you, or are you gonna like grow and get better from it? You know, like
Exactly.
um, it's crazy. It's just like there's so much power that's in music and vibration if you
Mm-hmm.
have the right ones and the wrong ones. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I was listening to Katori Walker, his new EP recently, and he has this he it's called Idols, and like he does a song um fashioned after each of his idols or a couple of his idols, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like he does a Kanye type flip on
Cool.
on the last song, and he was talking about on the track. He's like, uh, uh, these artists be posting like Black Lives Matter, then go in the studio and record a song about killing niggas after. Like, what's the point? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what sense does this make? You
Mm-hmm.
know, type of that's the message he was trying to put across.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's some real shit.
Word.
That's dead ass real shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like we don't understand that. Many people don't understand that listening to that type of music on a consistent basis like keeps their mind in that type of space, like where in a survival mindset where you have to kill people who look like you, to you know survive, or you feel like you have to do that when truly if we had just been collaborating from the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
then it would have been a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's yeah.
And I feel like it's also important to realize that like a lot of the people who are making these references to these violent crimes and these violent acts, a lot of them are industry. So and they don't even own their own music, which is the craziest part because like I'll give you an example, and I hate to call out names or anything like that, but I heard a lot of artists, they don't write their own songs. They do exactly what their industry or I'll put it like this, their master, because that's their at this point their money is their master. But they do oh,
Some water.
that's some good water right there. Just drink water. Just drink water. But a lot of them are so hooked on what their industry is telling them that they're not even paying attention to what they're saying because the industry is just like, all right, well, you record this song, I'll give you $5,000.
Hmm.
You
They
know,
just take their advance and
hmm
go along.
exactly. And which is sad, but it's important for us to realize, as especially as melanated beings, that we have the control at this point.
Hmm.
We have control over what goes into our mind, because we can change our environment. That's the reason why. We don't have to be subjected to what they're putting out. Not to say that they're garbage, but they're happy to be trashed like a glad bag. You know what I mean? That's a Irate specialist reference if y'all don't know. but
Yeah,
they happy to be like that. They're happy to be in the trash. But the thing is, like, I'm trying to be like salt. I'm not trying to be thrown out. I'm trying to add flavor to the food.
that's
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to lose my saltiness and be thrown in the trash just like these other people who like the trash bag.
mm-hmm.
You know what I
You
mean?
trying to make other niggas salty.
Exactly. And that's okay. That's okay. They could be salty because I'm around. Yeah, man.
Pick up
So,
that flavor. I
mhm,
feel you, Brody. I feel you.
yeah, man. So,
Man,
but
you
that's the
know.
reason why we got to make so much more music, though, because of that issue right there. All these industries want to take over the minds of the people who believe that they're still slaves,
Hmm.
but they don't have to be anymore. And like when I release my album, I want to basically show that to people. You don't have to be a slave anymore. You don't even, at this point, you can create your own reparations if you
Hmm.
know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like I'll give you an example. Like this stimulus check thing that they got going on. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's not necessary. You know what I mean? If we know what we're doing, we should be able to do anything. And that's what I want to be basically, show with everything that I put out there, that you're worth more than what society says you are.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
totally, bro.
Oh yeah,
Definitely, that's definitely like one of the messages that we have to. Because who is society to tell us how much you're worth? You
exactly,
know,
exactly.
only you can do that for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's key to understand. Like, nobody could tell you how much you're worth but yourself. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to believe whatever you believe is what you do, what you manifest,
Mm-hmm.
what you respond to, because
Yeah.
I was actually watching this course, and he was talking about how our beliefs literally create our emotions, because if you don't have a belief about something, you're not going to have an emotion towards it. You're not going to feel any way about it, you know, because there's nothing attached to, like, what you perceived the thing to be,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like the example of if you're meeting somebody new for the first time, and like your friend was like, oh man, they stink or whatever, and your other friend was like, nah, they're really whack or whatever. So you go and you meet the person and you come up to them, you think that they're gonna like stink and be like whack or whatever, but they're actually pretty dope. But
Mm-hmm.
when you came into the situation, because you had a previous belief about them, you thought you were already going in feeling some type of way, like, oh, these is feeling like they gonna stink, or like, like trying to do a little whiff check. Yeah, like, but yeah, saying all that to say this, that, you know beliefs create how you feel about something. And that's why I'm trying to change the way that some beliefs in my mind, to make the music that I was talking about before, that raw, authentic type of music, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of like straight out the heart, pure, you know
Mm-hmm.
like, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a process.
What I'm trying to do right now, I have two things that are really prevalent on my mind. I want to get TikTokers to promote my music because they have massive audiences.
Yeah,
You know,
TikTokers
so
blowing up.
yo, facts. And I don't even use TikTok like that, but I know that other people do. A lot of people, a massive majority. So I was thinking like promote like 5 songs on TikTok by before this end of the year is over, and
Mhm.
then, if possible, perform when the ball drops.
Yeah,
That,
bro.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's about the intention.
Hmm.
Everything is about the intention. If the intention is correct, then the manifestation will happen. But if the intention is not there, then the world will happen to you.
Hmm.
You know.
Intention and the follow up too.
Oh yeah, you have to follow up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because if you don't, the world will still come at you and be like, "I got you."
Hmm.
And you can't let that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Facts, yo.
Mm. But
And yeah.
but yeah, thank y'all so much for coming. We gonna have some links in the description with the songs that we talked about today.
Hmm.
Obviously, check out Irate Specialist's new song because it's a bop, and the link will also be in the description. It's lit, lit.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
And
and
Happy New Year to everybody watching.
yes, Happy New Year. Hmm. All right, everybody. We're going to peace out on y'all and we're going to see you on the flip side.
Catch you
Oh,
on flip flop.
two things to remember before we go. Remember that everything that we said, use your own interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
All we're here to be is guides.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to guide you from the position that we know. That's all we can do. I mean, and you don't have to accept what we have to say. You can
Experience.
obviously experience yourself. Yep, there you go. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.